Hi, I'm Mrs. Kessers from Walsh Ridge High School, and this section is on factoring. Alright, let's go ahead and get into some examples. We've got x squared plus 6x minus 40. Now we want to factor this, okay? And we want to go ahead and put it into two parentheses like this. Alright? Now you don't have a number in front of this x, so we want to find factors of negative 40 that add to positive 6. Okay? So factors of negative 40 that add to positive 6 are going to be a positive 10 and a negative 4. So you want to split this up. Because we have an x here, you're going to put an x and an x. Then it doesn't matter if you put your plus 10 first and your minus 4 second. Okay, you could also have x minus 4 and x plus 10. That's the exact same thing. That doesn't matter. But your 10 has to be positive, your 4 has to be negative, because when you add them, you get positive 6. When you multiply them, you get negative 40. All right, let's look at a little bit tougher example. Now let's say we have something like this. We have 4 terms, okay? 15v cubed minus 3v squared plus 20v minus 4. Now what you want to do is first look at all the numbers. 15, 3, 20, and 4. You cannot take the same thing out of all of them, so you cannot factor out a greatest common factor. So instead, whenever you have 4 terms, you want to factor by grouping. So 4 terms equals grouping. So that means we want to take the front and group the front, group the back. Make sure you keep your plus sign in the middle, okay? Then you look at both of these. 15v cubed minus 3v squared. You can take a 3v squared out of both of them. And you're left with 5v. If you take a 3v squared out of 3v squared, you have a placeholder there of a minus 1. Then plus 20v minus 4. You can take a 4 out of both 20v and 4. And you're left with 5v, then minus 1 as your placeholder. Now the thing that's in parentheses should be the same. If it's not, you did it wrong. So 5v minus 1, 5v minus 1. You see it twice, so write it down first, 5v minus 1, cross them out, and you're left with 3v squared plus 4 left over. So that is my final answer. 5v minus 1, and then times 3v squared plus 4. Let's try another one like this. We've got 6v cubed plus 8v squared minus 36v minus 48. So first look at all the numbers. We've got 6, 8, 36, and 48. Looking at all of those, they are all even. So you can take a 2 out of all of them. So if we take a 2 out, we are left with 3v squared, or 3v cubed, plus 4v squared, then minus 36v divided by 2 is going to give me 18v, then minus 48 divided by 2 is going to give me 24. Now what I want you to do is take this 2, circle it, and put an arrow down, because you have to include it in your final answer. If you don't do that, you might forget it. Okay? Now what you want to do is group after that. So group the front, group the back, keep that minus sign in the middle. So out of both of these, 3v cubed plus 4v squared, all you can take out is a v squared. And you're left with 3v plus 4. Now this minus sign here is going to always, always, always change the sign behind it. So whenever you have a minus sign in the middle, you have to change the sign behind it. So if it was a plus, you would change it to a minus. If it's a minus, you change it to a plus, but only when you have a minus sign in the middle. All right? So you keep that minus sign here. 18v minus, or now plus 24. You can take a 6 out of both of those, and you're left with 3v plus 4. So we see 3v plus 4 twice. And then you're left with v squared minus 6 left over. Then you see how you have this arrow coming down here. That reminds you that you have to put that 2 out in front because it asks you to completely factor. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the next example. We have 5n squared minus n minus 4. Now we're going to take that shortcut method that we did first, which is 3 terms, and the grouping method, and we're going to kind of mash them together. Okay? Now, what you want to do, you have a 5 out here in front. Okay? So you cannot just take factors of negative 4 that add to negative 1. First of all, there aren't any. And second of all, because you have this 5 out here, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So when you have a leading coefficient other than 1, you want to do the rewrite method. Okay, so you have the rewrite method. So what you want to do is 5 times negative 4. That's going to give me a negative 20. So we want factors of negative 20 that add to negative 1. That's going to be negative 5 and positive 4. Now this is the rewrite part of this. Okay, so you want to rewrite your 5n squared. Now you rewrite your negative n as a minus 5n plus 4n. Then drop down your minus 4. Okay? Now, it doesn't matter if I would have put my negative 5 first and then my 4, or if I put my 4 and then my negative 5. You're still going to get the same answer. Okay? So now you just group because we have 4 terms. So when you group, you can take a 5n out of both of these, and you're left with n, then minus 1 because you took that whole entire thing out, so you need that placeholder. Then you have a plus sign in the middle, so the sign stays the same. You can take a 4 out, and you're left with n minus 1. All right, you see your n minus 1 twice. Cross those guys out, and you're left with 5n plus 4 left over. So my final answer is just this, n minus 1 times 5n plus 4. So you always have to do the rewrite method when you have a number out in front, because it's not just going to be as simple as putting it into those 2 parentheses, just like that first example was. Alright, so if you have any questions, make sure you stop by the math office or email me at kesterse@walshjesuit.org. I'll see you in class.